Okay, we're going to call this copying competencies um, and linking objectives, maybe part two. One thing I wanted to mention about copying competencies is, as you can see here, this is something I thought about later when I was associating activities. Um, you can kind of see I have these little sub-child objectives. They have similar names. Like here, under Aboriginal art, I have characteristics of Aboriginal art, vocabulary associated with Aboriginal art, and cultural influence of Aboriginal art. But then I also have another one just named vocabulary, but it's nestled under, intro to ethnographic arts, and I have vocabulary under African art. So, like, all these little objectives, with the similar titles, what that created issues for me later was when I was associating activities. Um, if I go to content and I look at the sample course I've set up, if it ever loads, I'll show you. Say, a quiz, this final quiz that I have learning objectives. If I click on the learning objectives tab, I was able to add learning objectives from my competency structure, which is great because that's what we want to do. But if you look down here, you can see I have vocabulary here and then vocabulary here. So now I'm not sure which vocabulary this is associated with. If I click on it, it'll tell me it's under, let's see, where is it? If I click on it here, it'll pop up and tell me how I've identified it. So then I'm like, oh, okay, that's the one that goes with intro to ethnographic art. That's the parent. So, but then I have to do all that clicking to figure it out. So what I should have done is gone here, and after I copied all those, maybe change the name slightly. So that's just a tip for you. If you use the copy feature later, I should go back and put maybe Aboriginal characteristics, and then save that, and then go back and change this vocabulary title to Aboriginal vocabulary. So now, that'll just be a little more helpful to me later. So keep in mind when you're making more elaborate structures to make your life a little more easier with how you classify things. So let me just do this last one so I don't lose my place when I come back. There. So that should make my life easier in the long run. Now, if you tie the same learning objective to multiple parents, if you edit the original objective, the other one's going to change too. So unlike when we saw in the copy feature, we could edit the copy and the original did not change. I did run across a situation where I had the same one linked up and then both would change. Now that can be convenient at times if you want that and you want them both to change. But if you don't, you want to make sure that you created them separately or that you don't have them linked up like that. So I'll have to try to show you. Okay, if I go to, let's go to this intro to ethnographic art, and I'm going to create a child under here of the vocabulary from Aboriginal art. So if we go to intro to ethnographic art, structure, edit structure, and I create a child from an existing learning objective, and I choose, if I choose, let's see, since this doesn't have characteristics, since it's the intro, I'm going to put Aboriginal characteristics, and I'm just going to nestle that under this parent objective intro to ethnographic art. So add selected. Now if I go back to my structure and I want to make a change to that one, so if I go under, so we have Aboriginal characteristics, and then under the intro, now we also have Aboriginal characteristics. So if I go back to this original one, and I make a change. Let me just put some stars up here because I don't really want to change this too much because I like how I have it set up. But let me just say I changed the title a little bit. It will change the other one too. So now if I look at the Aboriginal one I just changed, and then I go to the intro one, it changed that too. So these two are linked together now because it's the same thing. I didn't copy it. I didn't make a new copy that I can individually edit. These two are the same. It's just now that this child objective is under both intro to ethnographic art and the Aboriginal art. So what I changed to one happens to the other. So I can change it back, get rid of these stars because that's stupid. Save, and now it should be back the way I originally had it. But I just wanted to show you that because I did that I think on accident the first time or something, and I was like, oh no, they both changed. But sometimes you might want that because you might want that structure to where you know, you have an overlap like that, and then when you update one, it automatically updates the other, so that's good information to know. I hope you found it helpful, and thanks for watching.